In this lecture, we are going to discuss about one more important topic, that is pseudo force. What is pseudo force? Pseudo force. Pseudo force is a fake force or imaginary force. It is a fake force. Or we can also call it as imaginary force. Imaginary force. In pronunciating pseudo, the P is kept silent. And what is the pseudo force? Why we use pseudo force? Where should we implement pseudo force? And what is the extent of ease that the pseudo force implementation gives us in solving the numerical? All the cases we will study about the pseudo force, and we will solve different types of numericals and questions. First, let me explain you what is pseudo force and why we are implementing pseudo force to solve any numerical, and where should the concept of pseudo force should be implemented so that there will be ease in the calculation of numericals. So I am starting this lecture from the concept of frames. What is frame or frame of reference? The observer, when observer is observing any object, it means that observer is analyzing and observing the motion, the position, the velocity, the acceleration, the displacement, all these physical quantities related to the motion of any object from a frame, from a place. That place is called frame. Frame is nothing but it is the place or position of that observer from where he is observing the motion of any object. Now, one more important thing. The acceleration, displacement, velocity, these all physical quantities when observed from different frames are different. For example, suppose I am traveling in a train, my friend is sitting in front of me. There is my friend, suppose his name is Ram. Ram is sitting in front of me. At 10 o'clock I am observing Ram. Ram appears to be in the position of rest. Ram appears to me in the position of rest. Or if I will see any of the compartment like fan, wash basin, berths of train, they appears me in the position of rest. But at the same instant of time, if some other person is standing outside the train and train is moving with a speed of 50 km per hour in the direction of north, in the direction of Delhi to Visakhapatnam, in direction from Delhi to Hyderabad, then what will be the position of that object whom I have observed? I am again repeating. I am sitting with my friend in train. The train is moving with 50 km per hour from Visakhapatnam to Delhi. I am observing my friend. My friend appears to me in the position of rest. His velocity is 0. His acceleration is 0. His relative displacement with respect to train is 0. But at the same instant of time, if someone is standing outside the train who is observing my friend, then for him he will appear in the position of motion with the velocity of train and in the direction of train. So at single instant of time, at one instant of time, any object could be either in the position of rest or in the position of motion. It depends upon the frame of reference from where we are observing that object. So there is a very important conclusion from this statement, that in the whole universe, not a single object can be considered in the position of rest or motion. It depends upon the frame of reference from where we are observing that object. Suppose there is a study table kept on the earth. If I am observing that table, I can simply say that that table is in the position of rest. But if someone is observing that table from moon, if it is visible from moon, then the observer who is observing the table from the moon, what will be his reply? He will tell that, sir, the table is rotating with the earth. As earth is rotating, hence the table kept on the earth's surface will also be in the position of rotation and revolution around the sun. So at the same instant of time, the table is appearing me in the position of rest when I am observing the table from earth. But when someone is observing that same table from moon, it appears to him in the position of motion. Now either any object will be in the position of rest or it will be in the position of motion at an instant of time. So Newton's first and second law are applicable only in inertial frame. Sometimes it is very confusing to say that Newton's first law and second law. Newton's first law and second law are laws, because laws are those statements which are valid everywhere, and we use law to prove other statements. Law are valid in any circumstances or in any situation, but Newton's first law is limited to the concept of frame. Newton's first law and second law are applicable only in inertial frame. So what is inertial frame? Generally we have studied that if acceleration of any object is zero, then force must be zero. Or we can say that if the vector sum of all the forces acting on any object in any frame is zero, then acceleration must be zero. But this doesn't give us any field. I am going to elaborate it. One more example I am taking. Suppose me with my friend standing in an elevator going up with an acceleration of 3.20 meter per second square. I am observing my friend. He appears to be in the position of rest. But at the same instant of time, if someone is standing outside the elevator, if he observed both of us, I along with my friend appear to him in the position of motion. By which acceleration? By the acceleration of that elevator. So position of any object in different frames are different. It is very clear. Not a single object in the whole universe can be considered in the position of rest or motion. It depends on the frame of reference, and frame of reference is the place from where the observer is making his observation, from where the observer is analyzing the object velocity, acceleration, displacement. That is called frame. So Newton's first and second law are limited to the concept of inertial frame. These laws are applicable only in inertial frame. But to make the Newton's first and second law valid in non-inertial frame, we will have to apply the concept of pseudo force. We will have to apply a force on the object when we are observing it from non-inertial frame in opposite direction to the acceleration of observer. Further we will study the different cases. So first I am going to write that position, velocity, acceleration of any object observed from different frames are different. So now the question is, which frame should I consider? Which frame is a good frame? From where we should have to solve the numerical. And there is a concept comes, that is concept of inertial and non-inertial frame. Inertial frame. What is inertial frame? Inertial frame. If any observer is in such a frame, where his acceleration is 0, or the frame is moving with constant velocity, the frame is moving with a constant velocity. If the frame is moving with constant velocity, then its acceleration will become 0, because acceleration is rate of change of velocity. If the object is moving with constant velocity, then its acceleration will become 0. If the object is in the position of rest, here acceleration can be 0. Acceleration can be 0 if the object is in rest. Acceleration can be 0. Yeah, either acceleration can be 0 if the object is in rest, or the acceleration can be 0 if the object is moving with constant velocity. In both the cases, acceleration of the object will become 0. We know that acceleration is equal to v minus u upon t. If the object is not changing its velocity with respect to time, then v minus u will become 0, and 0 upon t, that is equal to 0. And if any object is in the position of rest, it means that its velocity is 0, and 0 upon t is equal to 0. So any frame from where the observer is observing, and its acceleration of the frame, because acceleration of frame will be equal to acceleration of the observer. If observer is standing in such a frame whose acceleration is 0, or the frame is moving with a constant velocity, If any observer is in such a frame where his acceleration is 0, or the frame is moving with a constant velocity, such frames are called inertial frame. And Newton's first and second law are valid only in inertial frames. I will give you the example, because physics is not the philosophy or theoretical subject. If you have got any concept, then there must be some mathematical expression related to that concept. And if you understand, if you go through all those mathematical calculations related to that concept, your interest will ultimately get rise out. So, I am giving you few fraction of second. Okay. We can say here that Newton's first and second law are applicable only to inertial frame. Newton's first and second law are applicable to inertial frame. And what is non-inertial frame? Newton's first and second law, mostly second law, Newton's second law of motion, that is force is equal to mass into acceleration, is valid only in inertial frames. Only in inertial frames. Then what is non-inertial frame? What is non-inertial frame? Non-inertial frames are those frames which have some acceleration, or we can say that any frame moving with variable velocity. Non-inertial frame. What is a non-inertial frame? Any frame whose acceleration or in that frame acceleration of observer is not zero, or if frame is moving, or the frame is moving with a variable velocity, because if the frame will move with constant velocity, then its acceleration will become zero. So for acceleration to be non-zero, the frame must have a variable velocity. Such frames are called non-inertial frame. And Newton's second law are not valid in non-inertial frames. Non-inertial frames. Okay. So if we want to use Newton's second law to be valid in non-inertial frame, to make Newton's second law valid in non-inertial frame, we will have to apply a pseudo force in opposite direction to acceleration of observer. This is short form of acceleration of observer on that object. If we are working with non-inertial frame, and if we wish to validate the Newton's second law there, then we will have to apply a pseudo force in opposite direction of acceleration of observer on that object. Only then we can apply Newton's second law in non-inertial frame. I will have some example. I will give you some examples. Okay. So the examples I will give you two examples from which your concept regarding this pseudo force will become very much clear. I hope so. Okay. Shall I move to the questions? Suppose I am giving you a situation. Here is a block kept. There is a block kept here. This block has a mass of 5 kg and there is a force applied on this block is 10 Newton. There are two observers. Suppose one observer is Ram and Ram is in the position of rest. It means that Ram, acceleration of Ram is 0. Ram is standing on the ground. Ram is standing on the ground. There is another observer whose name is suppose his name is SRK. Shahrukh Khan. Because he is very unstable person, he is feeling a lot of intolerance in our country. His acceleration can't be 0. So SRK is itself accelerating with the acceleration of 1 meter per second square. SRK in such a frame, SRK is present in such a frame that frame is itself accelerating with acceleration of 1 meter per second square towards the right. Because acceleration is a vector quantity, I will have to mention here direction of acceleration also. Ram is in the position of rest. Now I am going to apply Newton's second law for Ram and SRK. If I will talk here, what will be the value of acceleration? Acceleration is equal to force upon mass, that is equal to 10 divided by 5, that is equal to 2 meter per second square. I am writing Newton's second law. I am writing force equation for Ram. I am write force equation for Ram. What will be the force equation for Ram? Ram is in the position of rest. I have already told you that if any observer is in the position of rest, or if the observer is in such a frame that frame is moving with constant velocity, or the acceleration of the frame is 0, such frames are called inertial frame. I am going to write the force equation for Ram, and let me check whether force equation is correct for Ram or not. If Ram observe this block, he will see that if he will write force is equal to mass into acceleration, then he will observe what is the net force, that is 10 Newton, is equal to what is the mass. Mass of the object appeared to Ram is 5 kg into acceleration is 2 meter per second square, and this is value. So we can say that Ram is in inertial frame, because for Ram Newton's second law is valid. I am again telling you, this is a very important topic for debate in physics, that whether Newton's second law is a law or not, because law are such statements which are already proved, and law are applicable and valid in any circumstances or in any situation. But here Newton's second law is limited to the concept of frame. Newton's second law are applicable only in inertial frame. These concepts, the concept of Newton's second law is invalid in non-inertial frame. Now, I am writing force equation for SRK. Force equation for SRK. Force equation for SRK. Force equation for SRK. Let me check whether it is clear on the phone screen or not. Okay. What will be the force equation for SRK? SRK is itself accelerating with acceleration of 1 meter per second square, and this block is also having an acceleration of 2 meter per second square. So both the objects are accelerating. If SRK is observing this block will not appear to be have the acceleration of 2 meter per second square. SRK itself having an acceleration of 1 meter per second square, and this block is also accelerating with acceleration of 2 meter per second square. So when SRK will observe this block, it will not get the value of this acceleration as 2 meter per second square. Here we will have to implement the concept of relative motion, relative acceleration. So I am calculating here relative acceleration of block, with respect to SRK. A subscript BS, acceleration of block with respect to SRK. Here SRK, the second alpha bit is observer. The second alpha bit is observer. The first alpha bit is moving object. Then I will get here magnitude of acceleration of block B minus magnitude of SRK. So finally I will get acceleration of this block is 2 meter per second square minus 1, that is 1 meter per second square. So when SRK will observe this block, he will get an acceleration of this block of 1 meter per second square, and hence here we are getting a plus sign, plus 1 meter per second square. So when SRK will observe this block will appear to him having an acceleration of 1 meter per second square towards right. Positive signs means the direction of acceleration of this block with respect to SRK is toward right. Now I am going to write here force equation. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. What is the net force? 10 Newton. What is the net mass? 5 Newton. What is the acceleration of this block with respect to SRK? 1 meter per second square. Is this equation valid or not? Is this valid? No. This doesn't fulfill the condition of equality. This doesn't fulfill the condition of equality. So here Newton's second law is not valid. Newton's second law is not valid in inertial frame. Newton's second law of motion is not valid in inertial frame. So I can say that Ram is example of inertial frame. Ram is in inertial frame and SRK is in non-inertial frame. Because Newton's laws are not valid for SRK. But Newton's second law are valid for Ram. Force equation is satisfied. Force equation is not satisfied for SRK. I had already told you in the very starting of this lecture that any observer standing in such a frame whose acceleration is zero, or if the observer is moving with constant velocity, or if the frame is moving with the constant velocity, that frame is called inertial frame. And if the frame is accelerating or the frame is having variable velocity, it means that the frame and the observer standing in that frame is having some acceleration. The acceleration is non-zero. Such frames are called non-inertial frames. There I have took an example and proved that. So if we want to make the Newton's second law valid in non-inertial frame, if I wish to make the Newton's second law valid in non-inertial frame, then I will have to apply a pseudo force in the opposite direction of acceleration of observer. If I wish to make the Newton's second law valid, if I wish to make the Newton's second law valid for SRK, I will have to apply a pseudo force in opposite direction of acceleration of SRK. Okay? So I am giving you a few seconds to revise this, to observe what I have written on the board. Okay. Let me check whether it is clear on our phone screen or not. Okay. So now I will have to implement the concept of pseudo force. To make Newton's second law valid in non-inertial frame, we will have to apply a pseudo force on the object in opposite direction, to acceleration of observer. I will have to apply here a pseudo force whose direction will be opposite to the acceleration of the observer. So now, formula of pseudo force is equal to minus mass of object into acceleration of observer. This minus sign shows the direction of the pseudo force. Means the direction of pseudo force is in opposite direction of acceleration of observer. Acceleration of observer here in this formula, A is acceleration of observer. The minus sign shows that the direction of pseudo force, because pseudo force is also a kind of force and force is a vector quantity, hence it will have some magnitude as well as direction. So direction of pseudo force will be in the opposite direction of acceleration of observer. Is this clear to you? Now, same block I am taking for SRK. There is a force of 10 Newton. Mass of this block is 5 kg. Acceleration of block with respect to SRK is 1 meter per second square, and I will have to apply a pseudo force in opposite direction of acceleration of observer. Acceleration of observer is in rightward direction. I will have to apply pseudo force in left direction. That is equal to mass of object 5 kg into acceleration of observer is 1. So the answer I will get as minus 5 Newton. So if I wish to write force equation, force is equal to mass into acceleration. Now net force on 5 kg, 10 Newton minus 5 Newton is equal to, what is the mass? Mass of this block is 5 kg and acceleration of block with respect to SRK was 1. Now this equation is valid. Now this equation is valid. I think the example is very conceptual. It was easy example but very conceptual, which I think it will clear all your doubts rising in your mind regarding the pseudo force. So I will move further. Okay. I am giving you one more other example. I am giving you one more example. Suppose there is a lift or elevator. There is an elevator, and in this elevator there is a mass, block of mass, a small m is hanging. Here I am taking two observers. One observer is naming A, which is inside the elevator, and the elevator is accelerating in upward direction. At the same instant of time, I am taking another observer. This observer, its name is B, and it is standing on the ground. This observer is standing on the ground. It means that its acceleration of observer B is equal to 0. So for observer A and for observer B, I am going to write the force equation. Clearly, observer A is in non-inertial frame. Observer A is in non-inertial frame. Why he is in non-inertial frame? Why observer A is in non-inertial frame? Because observer A is itself accelerating with the acceleration of elevator in upward direction. Observer A is standing inside the elevator and observer A is standing itself in this elevator, and this elevator is accelerating in upward direction. So what will be the acceleration of A? Acceleration of A will be equal to acceleration of this elevator. It means that the observer A, from which frame he is observing this mass, that is a non-inertial frame, because acceleration of observer A is not equal to 0. It has non-zero acceleration, and since observer B, acceleration of observer B is equal to 0, it means that he is in inertial frame. Is this clear? I have already told you that if frame is accelerating or frame is having some variable velocity, then that frame is called non-inertial frame. And I have proved with some example also. So observer A is in non-inertial frame and observer B is in inertial frame because it has zero acceleration or he is in the position of rest. So for observer B, I am writing the force equation for observer B. For observer B, I am writing the force equation. So here the system is a small m mass. Identify the forces on a small m mass. There will be a tension in upward direction and in downward direction there will be a force mg. So the force equation, net force is equal to mass into acceleration, Newton's second law. Net force on this mass, tension in the upward direction minus mg in the downward direction, and net acceleration of this block is upward. This block is inside the elevator. Since the elevator is moving in upward direction, so this elevator is accelerating in upward direction, so the block is inside the elevator. Elevator is accelerating in upward direction and block is kept inside the elevator. So block will also be accelerating in upward direction. Mass of this block into acceleration A. Now I am going to find the value of tension. Tension is equal to, I can take common M, A plus G. If I am writing force equation for observer A, I am writing the force equation for observer A. Observer A is itself accelerating upward. If observer A observes this mass, this is the same situation like if two friends are traveling in a train, one friend will observe another friend. If one friend will observe another friend, his friend will appear to him in the position of rest. If observer A is observing a small m will appear to him in the position of rest. It means that net force acting on a small m must be equal to 0. For whom? For observer A. I am writing the force equation. F net is equal to mass into acceleration. What is the value of F net? P minus mg. But if observer A is observing a small m, its acceleration will appear to him is equal to 0 and tension is equal to mg. Now I am here. I am observing the same object tied by the same rope, but the value of tension for two different observers observing from different frames are different. But one more thing I am telling you, the very important concept here, that tension in any string, does not depends upon frame. It means that it is same in both inertial and non-inertial frame. The value of tension is same in both inertial and non-inertial frame because tension is an internal force. Internal force in what? Internal force in this rope, in this string. Tension is internal force. It doesn't depends upon frame. Tension is internal force. It doesn't depends upon frame. So if I will have to make Newton's second law valid for observer A, I will have to apply pseudo force. I will have to apply a pseudo force. I will have to apply a pseudo force in opposite direction. What is the formula of pseudo force? Minus mass of object into acceleration of observer. Acceleration, who is observer? A. Acceleration of observer is in upward direction. So pseudo force will be in downward direction, minus mass of object into acceleration of observer. Acceleration of observer is A. So now if I will write the force equation after applying pseudo force, let me check whether it is clear on the phone screen or not. Okay. Force equation after applying the pseudo force. What will be the force equation? Tension minus mg. Tension is in positive y direction, minus mg plus ma is equal to 0. So from here I can write here T is equal to mg plus ma, m common a plus g. Now it is clear, it is already I have cleared you. Your concept is very much clear that observer B is in inertial frame, and for observer B the value of tension is equal to m into a plus g. But for observer A who was in non-inertial frame, the value of tension was mg. When you have not applied the concept of pseudo force, to make the Newton's second law valid in non-inertial frame, I will have to apply a pseudo force. After applying pseudo force, observer A, if observer A observes mass A, he will get the same value of tension as observer B has got. It is clear? And tension in a spring, tension is internal force. Internal force in a spring, it doesn't depend whether, because observer B is also observing the same spring and observer A is also observing the same spring. So tension in a spring for both A and B will be same. Or we can say that tension is internal force. So I am giving you some few minutes. Observe. Go through what I have written on the board. I think now your concept of inertial and non-inertial frame are very much clear. Okay, so I am moving to the next question. I am moving to the next question. I am moving to the next question. Suppose this is a car. Suppose this is a car which is accelerating with some acceleration A. This is accelerating with some acceleration A, and there is a mass hanging. There is a bob of mass small m hanging in this car. It is experimentally observed in our daily life, if any mass is hanging in a moving car, it comes backward. It comes backward. It comes backward. Why it comes backward? If you close all the windows of the car, still this mass will come backward at some angle theta. At some angle theta. Why? Why this mass comes back? And in this question, we have to find the value of theta for which the small m is in equilibrium. Equilibrium means the small m is completely in the position of rest. This question can be solved by two methods. Either let the observer to observe all these motions from Earth, or let us keep an observer in this car. Now this observer is example of non-inertial frame. This observer is an example of non-inertial frame. These types of questions calculation are very much easy by the application of pseudo force. We can solve this from inertial frame also. I will give you the solution. I will solve it from inertial frame. In this situation, I have kept, for ease of calculation, I have kept the observer inside this car. I have kept the observer inside this car. Now, this observer has itself the acceleration of a, as same as the acceleration of this car, and this observer is observing this mass. Then there will be a pseudo force. I am taking all this system out. Look here. This was the metallic bob or any bob of mass m. It comes backward. In question, we have to find this value of theta. Here, there will be a tension in the string by which this bob is attracted towards the ceiling or roof of the car. In downward direction, there will be mg. I am doing all these observation, all what I am writing here for observer A. For observer A. Now, since observer A is in which frame? Observer A is in non-inertial frame. I will have to apply a pseudo force on this mass in opposite direction to acceleration of observer. Acceleration of observer is in rightward direction. So I will have to apply a pseudo force in opposite direction to the acceleration of observer. Okay. Let this be y-axis. If this is angle theta, this will also be angle theta. So, firstly I am making the diagram. There was tension. This was angle theta. Downward mg. Take it as x-axis. Component of tension T cos theta. Tension is making angle theta with y-axis. So on y-axis the component of tension is a kind of force. It can be resolved into its component T cos theta, and its x component will be T sin theta. In this direction, mass into acceleration. Since small m small m is in rest. So summation of total force in x direction and summation of total force in y direction must be equal to 0. Only then the resultant of x and y component will be 0. This we have discussed in the chapter vector. In vector we have studied about resolution of vector. A vector can be resolved into its two components. So sum of total force must be 0 for this block. Here the forces were tension, MA and MG. These three forces are not in same line of action. So we have resolved all these forces into its component. Now we can write here summation of total force in x direction that is equal to T sin theta in positive direction of x minus MA is equal to 0. We will get here T sin theta is equal to MA. Take it as equation number first. Again, summation of total force in y direction is equal to T cos theta in positive y direction minus mg is equal to 0. We will get here T cos theta is equal to mg. Take it as second equation. Now divide the first equation by second equation. Divide the first equation by second equation. What? We will get T cancel and sin theta upon cos theta will become tan theta. Tan theta is equal to mass will cancel out and the value of tan theta is equal to A by G. And theta that we have to calculate here tan inverse A upon G. This is the value of that theta for which this small m mass will be in equilibrium, will be in rest. It means further it will not move backward. For this value of theta, small m comes to in the position of rest, and furthermore this small m will not move in the backward direction. This is the maximum value of theta. Clearly you can see that G is constant. It means G is constant. There is a very important conclusion here that I am giving you. First look over here. Due to lack of space, I will erase this diagram. You can say here the value of tan theta depends upon A and G. G is acceleration due to gravity, whose value is constant. If in question it is given as 10 meter per second square, you can take 10 meter per second square, or if not it is given, or if the value of small g is not given, then you will have to take 9.8 meter per second square. This value is constant for this case. Although small g is not constant even on different places on the earth surface. Small g varies on poles, equator, with depth inside the earth, with altitude, with axis of rotation, with the speed of rotation, and with shape of the earth. Small g varies, that we will study in gravitation chapter. Small g value of a small g on moon is 1/6 of a small g on earth. A small g is not constant there, but for this situation, small g, for this process, small g is constant. Then tan theta is directly proportional to acceleration. I can write here tan theta is directly proportional to acceleration of car. Tan theta is directly proportional to acceleration of car. It means that, and value of tan theta increases from 0 to 90. As the angle increases, tan theta also increases. So, if acceleration of car will more, if car is accelerating with high acceleration, if its velocity is very high, then value of acceleration will also be high. If in this fraction numerator is very large as compared to denominator, tan theta will very large, so theta will also be high. Theta will also be high for more acceleration. It means that as much as this car is accelerating with high speed, this bob is coming more and much in backward direction. Much more in backward direction. If this car is accelerating with very high acceleration, this bob will come much more in backward direction. This bob will come much more in backward direction. The extent of moving of this bob depends upon the extent of acceleration of this car. Is this clear to you? Is this clear to you? Now I am going to solve this without using non-inertial frame. Once more I am repeating. The extent of movement of this mass in backward direction depends upon acceleration of observer or acceleration of car. If this car is accelerating with huge acceleration, this bob will move with high extent in leftward direction. Okay. Now I am going to solve this question from inertial frame. Method number 2. Solve this question from inertial frame. I am going to solve this question from inertial frame. Let there is observer B. B is observing. He is in the position of rest. This acceleration is equal to 0. This observer is observing. Now, there will be no any zero force because observer B is in inertial frame. Now I am going to make a free body diagram. This was the block. Block is, if observer B is observing this mass is coming in the backward direction, there will be a tensor, there will be angle theta. So downward mg, and if this observer B is observing this mass is inside the car and car is accelerating in rightward direction. So for observer B, the mass will appear to be accelerated in rightward direction. Okay. Now choose the axis. Write on the components of the forces. There was tensor. This was angle theta. So this will become T cos theta. This will become T sin theta. And net acceleration in downward direction mg. So summation of total force in y direction is equal to T cos theta minus mg is equal to 0. This is equation number 1. Summation of total force in x direction. In x direction only one force is there, that is T sin theta, is equal to mass into acceleration. Force equation I am writing here. Equation second. Now divide equation second by first. You will get tan theta is equal to A by G. Again theta is equal to tan inverse A by G. This question can be solved from inertial frame also, but by using the concept of non-inertial frame, by implementing pseudo force, the calculation will become very easy. Okay, observe. Look over here once I am giving you 2 minutes. Now let me refill the maximum of my water so that I can shoot many and many much more questions. So I think the lecture is interesting to all of you. You all are getting the concept. Already I have promised to all my dear students that not a single bit of concept in my class written on the board. If I will sketch a point on the board, you will have the reason of that point why I have sketched a point on the board. This is my intention of teaching, and it is very clear. I always try to give all the reasons behind the concept to make my lectures as much as I can make it interesting. As much as I can make it interesting. So for next concept I am moving, on which there are many questions in SC Burma. I will solve one question from SC Burma. One or two questions more I will solve from SC Burma. Suppose this is an incline. Suppose this is incline. This is incline. Sometimes it is also called as wedge. WADG. The incline has an angle of inclination theta. This is constant. There is a mass of a small m. There is a mass of a small m that is kept. That is kept on this incline, and the whole this system is accelerating with a acceleration in forward direction. Now identify the forces. Let us, as we know that horizontal axis or x-axis is always parallel to the surface of earth or ground. But here x-axis is rotated by some angle theta. So finally, perpendicular to x-axis there will be y-axis. Okay. Now I have rotated this x-axis from, I have rotated this x-axis at angle theta. At perpendicular to x-axis I will get y-axis. This is x-axis. I am making an observer A to stand on this incline, because this incline is accelerating itself. This incline is accelerating itself in forward direction. This base will not fall down. Or in this type of question, we have asked that what is the angle of theta, or what is the value of this acceleration? What is the value of this acceleration for which this block does not slide down? What is the value of this acceleration? What is the value of is the value of this acceleration? What is the value of acceleration of incline such that block does not slide down, okay? In daily life also we used to do some magic. We used to keep some object in our hand. If we rotate it with very high velocity, this object will not fall down. Look here, this marker is not falling down. This marker is not falling down. Same concept is applied here. Since this incline is accelerating in forward direction and the observer A is standing on the incline, so observer A is in non-inertial frame. Observer A is in non-inertial frame. The observer A is in non-inertial frame. Now identify the forces on this mass. In the downward direction there will be a force mg. It is already, I have already told you, this mg will make angle theta with x-axis. At the same instant of time there will be a pseudo force, and the value of pseudo force is mass of object into acceleration of observer. Acceleration of observer is in rightward direction, so pseudo force on this mass will be in leftward direction. Since this is angle theta, so this will also be angle theta by corresponding angles. This one is x-axis and A is making angle theta with x-axis. If I will make this diagram something like this, suppose this is x-axis and this is y-axis. Along y-axis, identify the forces. The surface of block and surface of incline are in contact. So incline is applying a normal force in upward direction, that is denoted by the small m. In downward direction mg, and mg is making angle theta with y-axis. mg is making angle theta with y-axis. Is that clear? MA is making angle theta with x-axis. MA is making angle theta with x-axis. Okay. MA is making angle theta with x-axis. So component of MA on x-axis will be MA cos theta, and component of MA on y-axis will be MA sin theta. Component of mg on this axis okay. So any problem? mg, component of mg here is mg cos theta, and component of MA will be MA sin theta. In this direction, the component is MA cos theta. Because of lack of stress, I am resolving this in this diagram itself. And the component of mg on x-axis will be mg sin theta. Okay. Erase this. No need to write this. this was mg, this was ma. Ma is making angle theta. Ma is making angle theta with x-axis. This is x-axis, I have already told you. So if the vector is making angle theta with any axis, then component of that vector will have cos theta. Now this is y-axis, so component of ma on this axis will be ma sin theta. Mg is a weight. I can resolve like that also. That is some simple method, simple way to resolve. Mg is in downward direction, and mg, I had already told you and proved you that mg is making angle theta with y-axis. So component of mg on y-axis will be mg cos theta, and on x-axis will be mg sin theta. If you wish to write here, you can write mg sin theta in this direction, ma cos theta in this direction. Okay. Normal in upward direction, in downward direction ma sin theta and mg cos theta. So summation of total force acting in y direction, that is equal to 0, and we can write here the force equation as normal minus mg cos theta plus ma sin theta is equal to 0. So normal is equal to mg cos theta plus ma sin theta. But since here there is no any, since here in question there is no any friction force, so we have not any need of normal. Normal is used for finding the value of friction, because the formula of frictional force is mu, coefficient of friction, into normal. Okay, I am going to write the force equation. Since I have to find the value of that acceleration, what is the value of acceleration of incline? You can say incline, or you can say that acceleration of this object for which this block does not slide down. Because if non-inertial frame, if any observer is making all these observations from non-inertial frame, he observes this block, it appears to be in the position of rest, and it can only be possible if this incline is moving or accelerating in rightward direction. There will be a pseudo force in opposite to the acceleration of observer or acceleration of frame. This force Ma will not make this block to slide down. Okay, summation of total force in x direction is equal to 0. In x direction, the forces are ma cos theta minus mg minus mg sin theta is equal to 0. We can write here ma cos theta is equal to mg sin theta. Now m cancel each other. Cos sin theta or cos theta is equal to tan theta is equal to a by g. From here we can write here a is equal to g into tan theta. For this acceleration, for this value of acceleration, the block does not slide down. For this value of acceleration, the block does not slide down. Make it very much clear. This is the same value of tan theta that I had got in the last question. Remember this value. I will use in the next question. So look here. should be, this is question from essay Karma, what should be the value of, hanging mass capital M such that what should be the value of hanging mass capital M such that small m does not slide over m dash. This is the situation given to us. Here there is a pulley. The mass of incline is m dash. Mass of incline is m dash. There is another mass, the small m, is kept here, and this incline is tied by a string to a mass capital M. So here we have to find the value of capital M. This question is also I will solve by using the concept of non-inertial frame. If this capital M will move in the downward direction, first write the question and make a fresh new diagram. Make a fresh new diagram of this question and start doing solution. If this capital M will accelerate downward, this whole system, this whole we have considered as a single system, will accelerate upward. So I have to find what is the value of capital M for which this block does not slide down. I think the question is clear to you. So if the angle of incline is given as theta and this value is also equal to theta, no doubt. If here is the mg, then I have clearly told you this will be angle theta. Component of mg will be mg cos theta. Pseudo force, this is backward direction to pseudo force. Direction of pseudo force is opposite to the direction of acceleration of observer. I have placed an observer here. Observer is on the incline. Observer is accelerating in the rightward direction. If he observes this mass appears to him in the position of rest. For what value of capital M? I have to find the value of capital M for which, because capital M is only the component in this question who is creating acceleration of this rest. If capital M will cover x distance downward, this incline once more. If capital M will slide down x distance, this phase along with this mass will accelerate or will cover distance x in that time. If it will have velocity v, this will also have velocity v. If this is having acceleration a, the system will also having acceleration a. This is pseudo force, no doubt, component of pseudo force. This I have taken as x-axis. MA cos theta. Again, on this value, MA sin theta. Okay. MG sin theta. And one more force, that is normal. Summation of total force acting on the y-axis is equal to 0. On y-axis the forces are normal minus MA sin theta plus MG cos theta. That is equal to 0. Normal is equal to M common A sin theta plus G cos theta. no need to operate any further. We doesn't need to operate any further the value of normal. Leave it. Now come in the x direction. X direction the forces are summation of total force acting in the x direction, that is equal to ma cos theta or mg sin theta minus ma cos theta is equal to 0. From here we can write mg sin theta is equal to ma cos theta. M will cancel each other. Again, tan theta is equal to a by g. Then theta or value of acceleration is equal to g into tan theta. We have got the value of acceleration. Let me check. We have got the value of acceleration. I could simply write here the value of acceleration because I have already calculated the value of acceleration in earlier problem. In last problem, in the previous problem, I had calculated the value of acceleration at g tan theta. I had already calculated the value of acceleration for which the block on incline does not slide down. That is, acceleration is equal to g tan theta. Now I have got the value of acceleration. I can easily solve. I am giving you a few minutes to observe this because I will have to erase due to lack of space. Okay. The video is going to be very much lengthy. So in uploading the video, I will have some complication. I am trying to reduce the time, so I am erasing it fast. Remember the value of acceleration. Acceleration is equal to g tan theta. The value of acceleration is equal to g tan theta. Now decide the system and write the equation. This whole I have taken as the same system, including a small m and m dash. This whole I am taken as one system whose acceleration is a. For capital F, the forces are downward mg, tension upward, acceleration downward. So downward force will be more mg minus t is equal to ma. Force equation for m dash plus a small m. I am writing the force equation. This whole as a single system. This is accelerating in positive x direction. So this is accelerating in positive x direction. I can write here, and the only force acting on this whole base in x direction is tension. By this string, this whole system m dash plus a small m is pulled in towards the pulley. Capital M dash or capital M dash plus a small m. Forces are tension is equal to m dash plus a small m into a. Net force is equal to mass into acceleration. These are the two equations. We can solve these two equations. mg minus t is equal to ma and tension is equal to m dash plus a small m into a. Add these two equations. Tension will cancel out. We will get mg is equal to mg plus m dash plus a small m into a. I have to find the value of a small m. So bring it in this side. M will be common. We will get mg minus t is equal to m. Sorry, very sorry. So if I will take this, I I will get capital M common. G minus A is equal to M dash plus a small m into K. I can write here capital M is equal to M dash plus a small m into A. What was the value of a small a? A small a is equal to G into tan theta. I had already calculated in initial steps of this question, in the solution of this question. Put here a is equal to G tan theta upon G minus G tan theta. Again G will come common. We will get here m dash plus a small m into tan theta upon 1 minus tan theta. We can eliminate tan theta by dividing tan theta to numerator and denominator. Then I will get m dash plus a small m divided by 1 upon tan theta cot theta minus 1. This is the value of capital M. So look here. Is this clear to you all? Is this clear to you all? One last question that I am going to solve here. Okay. Let me erase this. One last question that I like to solve, and finally concept of superforce will be completed. One last question. One last question that I am going to solve here. Okay. Very last question. This is also a question from S.C. Verma. This is also a question from S.C. Verma. There is an incline. There is an incline. There is an incline making angle theta. Angle of inclination is theta, and length of this incline is small m. There is a block. There is a block of mass small m kept here at point A. Find the time, and this whole system is accelerating upward with acceleration a naught. Find the time in which the block slides down from A to B. This is the question. I can solve this question by using the concept of pseudo force. I am solving somewhat fastly. Take an observer standing in this elevator or in this cab who is accelerating in upward direction. So there will be a pseudo force in downward direction, ma naught, and again there will also a force of mg in downward direction. Now resolve the components. Since both are making angle theta, making angle theta, its component will be, if I am taking out that incline, there is small m, here is a small m normal. There is no need to calculate normal. Two components, one will be mg cos theta, another will be ma cos theta. Sorry. Very sorry. This is our y-axis. This is our y-axis. This is our y-axis. Component of mg here will be mg sin theta. Check here. Check once here. This force is ma naught. If you have any doubt regarding writing the component, take this as angle theta. This is downward mg, and on the same line ma naught. No doubt. This is y-axis. Then this will be angle theta. Now I think there is no any confusion. I was also doing some mistake in writing the component. Because this is theta. This one is 90 degree. This one is 90 minus theta. So this will become theta. Make your concept clear. On this axis we will get ma naught sin theta and mg sin theta. I am not taking its y component because summation of total force acting along y-axis is 0, because this block is not doing acceleration in y direction. This block is not doing any movement in y direction. If it will have to slide down, with some acceleration or net acceleration or a acceleration, it wants to slide down, then summation of total force acting on the x-axis is equal to net force is equal to mass into net acceleration. Net force, what is the value of net force? Net force in x direction is sum of these two forces, ma naught sin theta plus mg sin theta, that is equal to mass of this block into net acceleration. I can write here, m will be cancelled out. Net acceleration is equal to sin theta will be common, remaining a naught plus g. Any doubt? Let me check. Is there any doubt? I think there is no any doubt. I think there is no any doubt. Further I will solve this question. The acceleration of this block in downward direction on the incline is sin theta into a naught plus g. The acceleration of this block will be constant. The acceleration of this block will be constant. So, if we have to find the time in which the block slides from A to B, we will have to use equation of motion. Equation of motion are valid for any object who has constant or uniform acceleration. Now check which equation you can apply here. The block starts sliding from initial velocity is equal to 0. The block has to cover the distance small l, and s is equal to ug plus half a square. S is l, initial velocity is 0, half acceleration we have calculated sin theta into a naught plus g. Into t square. This is your homework to find the value of t. This is your homework to find the value of t. There is no limit of questions, my dear student. There is no any limit of questions. I am giving you one question as your assignment or your homework that you have to try. And if you are able to solve that question, I think that this lecture has some meaning. This is not meaningless lecture. Okay, the last question that I am giving you as assignment, as your homework, I think this all what I have written on the board is clear. Okay. One question that I am going to give you for your practice and for your homework purpose. Question is, there is an elevator which is accelerating up with the acceleration of g by 10. Here, this is a spring balance to which a pulley is tied. One mass is hanging of 1.5 kg and another mass is of 3 kg. The acceleration of these blocks are like this. Find reading of mass in the spring balance. Find reading of mass in the spring balance. Okay, this is your homework. So all the very best for your future. Try and practice what I have dictated here, what I have delivered, and solve this question. Thank you very much.